Something you would like to say?
So Snoop Dogg pulled a fast one, a pretty smart one, I should say, when it comes to his arrest record from 1993. And honestly, what we've seen Snoop become, there are probably a lot of people walking around today who don't even know this chapter of Snoop's.
Investigator has identified witnesses who can testify that Davis was not at the scene of that crime. The motion also suggests that someone else may have orchestrated the shooting near the Las Vegas Strip, which happened back in 1996.
Leaked documents, said to be from federal investigators, have the internet buzzing. They hint at a dark twist, a possible plan involving Snoop, prison inmates, and rumors that Diddy may have taken a plea deal, possibly revealing something about Tupac's unsolved death. The claim? Someone close to Snoop might have been involved. And once that hit online, everything exploded. But let's slow down. The deeper you look, the stranger it feels. Because Tupac's case was never truly solved, and now the same names from the 90s are showing up again in court whispers and prison talk. So why link Snoop, prison drama, and Tupac now? It all goes back to Diddy, and what happens if he talks. Right now, Diddy is serving time at Fort Dix in New Jersey. It's lower security, but tensions rise fast when someone that powerful walks in, especially with a past full of rivals. His projected release date? April 25, 2028. Slightly earlier than expected, and that alone sparked rumors. People immediately started asking, is he making a deal? Is he talking? Nothing is confirmed, but the speculation won't stop. Then came the footage. Diddy, walking through prison, working in the Chapel Media Library, calm, quiet, wearing gray sweats. And for many, it was shocking. Because the man who once looked untouchable, suddenly looked human. The real reason people are watching Diddy so closely right now goes far beyond prison. His name has resurfaced in discussions tied to Tupac's murder case, and the moment it appeared in official records again, the internet lit up. Recent reports from the trial of Keefe D reveal that prosecutors mentioned Diddy multiple times in legal filings connected to the 1996 Las Vegas shooting. And that's where things take a darker turn. For years, Keefe D has claimed that during the East Coast-West Coast rivalry, Diddy allegedly put up a $1 million bounty tied to Tupac and Suge Knight, a claim that has never been proven, but never fully disappeared either. He even said the money never came. And that raises a chilling question. If it was real, why was it never paid? When investigators revisited the case, everything kept leading back to one moment, the night it all began. It started as a fight, but turned into history. Inside the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, right after a Mike Tyson fight, security cameras captured a moment that would echo through hip-hop forever. Security footage reportedly showed Tupac and members of Death Row rushing Orlando Anderson in the MGM Grand lobby, turning it into a chaotic fight that security had to break up. But this wasn't random. Anderson had been accused of snatching a Death Row chain, something that, back then, meant deep disrespect. Those chains weren't just jewelry, they were pride, loyalty, identity. So when Tupac saw him, many believe it felt personal. And that moment? It may have set everything in motion. Just hours later, Tupac was riding through Las Vegas with Suge Knight when a white Cadillac pulled up beside them. Gunfire erupted. Multiple shots hit the passenger side, where Tupac was sitting. He fought for 6 days, but on September 13, 1996, Tupac passed away, leaving the world in shock. Investigators later believed Orlando Anderson was the gunman, possibly acting in retaliation for the earlier fight. But the story didn't end there. Keefe D later claimed the attack was tied to a $1 million bounty allegedly offered by Diddy, a claim Diddy has always denied, yet it never faded. What makes it even more haunting? Before all this, Tupac had already warned people. In a 1995 interview with Kevin Powell for Vibe, he said powerful figures in the industry linked to the bad boy camp knew more than they were saying. And decades later, those words still echo.
named every single person that he felt had something to do with this. Obviously, he was making serious allegations about Biggie, about Diddy, about, Fab Five Freddy, Andre Harrell, a whole bunch of.
During that interview, Tupac said something that still echoes today. If anything ever happened to him, he wanted the world to understand what he believed was going on behind the scenes. At the time, many fans dismissed it as paranoia, just tie-ins from the intense 90s rap rivalry. But after Tupac was killed just a year later, those words hit differently. What once sounded like anger started to feel like a warning no one took seriously. Then, just 6 months later, tragedy struck again. Biggie was shot and killed in Los Angeles, shocking the entire hip-hop world. Instantly, people began asking, was this retaliation for Tupac? Even now, no one fully agrees. Were the two deaths connected, or just part of the same dangerous era? The tension had gone far beyond music. Adding to the mystery, Gene Deal, a former bodyguard for Diddy, claimed that people connected to death row may have been involved in the violence after Tupac's death. But instead of answers, the accusations only spread in every direction. And the truth? Still feels just out of reach.
That was something, that was all West Coast, bruh. That was all in-house. If you ask me, that was all in-house.
So you believe Tupac and Biggie murdered the house?
I believe Biggie and Tupac was in-house. All had something to do with death row people.
While those debates went on for years, another detail from the night Tupac Shakur was shot started raising eyes. One question fans still ask today involves Snoop Dogg. Where was he that night? He was closely tied to Death Row Records, so many expected him to be in Las Vegas with the same crew when everything went down. But according to producer Warren G., something unexpected happened. Instead of being out with Tupac and Suge Knight, Snoop reportedly showed up at Warren's house. That single detail has fueled years of speculation. Some fans even wonder, did Snoop sense something was about to happen? There's never been any solid evidence that Snoop knew about the attack beforehand. Still, rumors have lingered suggesting Tupac had already started distancing himself from certain people in his circle before the shooting. When you mix those old rumors with newer speculation around Diddy's situation in prison, theories start connecting across nearly 3 decades of unanswered questions. And that's what keeps this mystery alive. Even after almost 30 years, Tupac's family is still searching for the truth about that night in Las Vegas. Some reports claim investigators linked to the family have looked into whether Diddy had any connection, but nothing has ever been proven. If real evidence ever surfaces tying someone in the industry to the killing, prosecutors could reopen parts of the case, or even take new legal action. And here's something important: even if criminal charges aren't possible anymore, a civil wrongful death lawsuit could still happen if strong evidence comes to light. That means this story isn't over yet. Which brings us back to the rumors surrounding Diddy's time in prison. Anytime someone connected to a decades-old mystery ends up in a position where they could speak, the speculation explodes fire. Some people believe the prison rumors about inmates targeting Diddy are just exaggerated internet noise. Others think differently. They believe if Diddy truly knows something about Tupac's case, there could be people who don't want that truth ever reaching a courtroom. Real or not, one thing is undeniable. The Tupac case still casts a massive shadow over the music industry. Nearly 30 years later, his death remains one of the most talked about mysteries in entertainment history. Now, with court developments and old voices speaking again, the story is resurfacing in ways no one expected. And if the full truth ever comes out, it could completely change what fans believe about the East Coast-West Coast rivalry and the powerful figures behind it. Because the real question isn't just who pulled the trigger. Investigators already have their theories. The deeper question is, who ordered the hit? And who's been protecting that secret all these years? And if Diddy ever decides to speak, it could shake hip-hop history to its core. So what do you think really happened behind the scenes? Drop your thoughts below. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.